took some classes, and it was great fun. I took to it really well, and I just dove right into it. And so I did that for a few years, took a couple classes, and then we moved to Keene, and then I looked around for some spots to throw, because I didn't have a wheel at that time. And then in, I think it was 2006 or so, I checked the Sharon Art Center again, and they had open classes. So I went and took some, and I've been taking classes ever since. And then I bought a wheel for myself. I bought a secondhand electric kiln for the bisque firing, because Pottery has two, at least the Pottery I do has two firings. It has a bisque firing, and then it also has, after that, then you dip it in the glaze and it has a glaze firing. A bisque firing is, it just goes up to, I go up to cone 06, which is about a temperature of somewhere around 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's, it's pretty much very porous piece, kind of like if you go to your local flower shop and buy a ceramic flower pot that's absorbent. That's, I use that as an example of a bisque firing. And then the glaze firing that I do goes up to cone 10, which is 2400 degrees, and with the glaze, it seals it, so then you can put it in your dishwasher and microwave oven. You wedge up some clay, or I have balls of clay here, and I usually weigh it so that you get an idea of how much clay will make what size bowl that you want. So you'll center it on the wheel, and then you'll just compress the clay. Maybe you'll cone it if you have a lot of clay, and then just make sure it's really centered, and then you'll open it up in the middle, and then compress the bottom so you don't want any cracking on the bottom, and then you'll just slowly bring up the walls. Usually a shape that appeals to me, and the color. I'm very into vibrant colors, blues, greens. I'm finding that at first bowls were really great, that I liked doing the bowls, but they didn't really sell. And then having a child 13 years ago, and then not working for a while and working part-time, that being in the kitchen a lot, that my sponge was always wet. So I was always thinking, problem solving, how do I dry out the sponge? And I would buy commercial sponge holders, and they never really dried out properly. So I came up with a pretty interesting sponge holder that had lots of holes in it. And then I moved on to, I made some toothbrush holders, and people at a craft fair had suggested, hey, I've seen those similar design, but the holes are a lot smaller so that you can put in earrings. So I started making earring holders and then ring holders, and I try to do functional pieces that are interesting to look at. I was giving a lot of it away for gifts, Christmas, and I still had tons left over, and I would do, I'd say, a little bit on the website, maybe 1 or 2 pieces off of the website a month, and then most of it is craft fairs in the fall.